If you want to send me hardcover stuff, hard copy stuff, let me know. I can get a P.O. box. I know the odds are slim, but you never know. People have been pretty cool so far. This is going to be about Mundane Matt, the Fandom Menace, the need for Star Wars drama. Someone mentioned some comic they wanted me to review. Fine, send me a digital copy at biancazombie602@gmail.com. They mentioned a specific Comicsgate book, so get that scanner warmed up and I'll take a look at it. The problem with reviewing Comicsgate stuff is it turns out that some of the guys in Comicsgate are very thin-skinned, even the 300-pound ones. Feel free to send me whatever you want. Rumors, inside info, knock yourself out. Or just send me art for the channel, or even nudes. But of women this time. You innocently ask for nudes, and people send you pictures of hairy balls. Stop it, Nasser. It looks like a button in a fur coat. I started this channel in the hope that I'd get some free comics, which people have sent me. So that's cool, but it turns out the joke is on me because SJWs are sending me their soy-filled vegan queef comics. I don't get sent the good stuff. Where's the love, guys? Nobody is sending me Soul Finder or Cyberfrog or Black Hops or even Doug TenNaples' watercoloring finger paint book. Come on, guys. I know that you have high-definition scanners, so get busy. Anyway, I was listening to Mundane Matt the other day because while he is a far-left soy boy who takes down channels, not cool, dude. He is also passionate about movies, and he is willing to live stream with people who hate him, which is an ever-increasingly growing list. He did a live stream with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers a few weeks ago, and it was great. Actually, I was in the chat, and so was EVS, and it was really funny because it was a small chat, and there was a lot of people with channels in the chat, and we were just going back and forth. It was a really funny stream. I'll post the link to his new channel. He does live streams, and they're fun. He does his fun live streams. I mean, just because you don't like somebody, you can't say everything they do is cancer. And they're small, and small live streams, at least at the beginning, are a lot of fun. Anyway, live streams are better when it's not just an echo chamber, cough, cough, EVS, where people are afraid to disagree with you or else they'll... Anyway. For some reason, Matt blocked me on YouTube, so I can't comment on his videos. I have no idea why. I did make a couple of videos lightly touchy on him, but I mean, it wasn't anything too serious, so I'm surprised that he blocked me. So Matt was spurging out about the Fandom Menace, and I have to admit that Matt raised an interesting point about, sorry Pixies, about Star Wars, the Phantom Menace, and on Rage Clicks. When The Force Awakens came out, there was a lot of excitement about Star Wars in general, even if a lot of it was centered around criticizing how bad it was, which it was. But there were plenty of channels that did great talking about The Force Awakens. Then The Last Jedi came out, and it was even worse. It was so shockingly bad that people were excited to see either how Star Wars 9 was going to save it. People were pumped up. But now that The Rise of Skywalker is out, and it was so bad that it killed the franchise, the excitement is gone. When you have two garbage films in a row, what's the point of even criticizing it? It's not a surprise anymore. It's just a bad movie and a bad franchise. So if you make videos on Rise of Skywalker, they won't be getting the views that The Last Jedi videos got. Matt was mentioning how this lack of excitement was affecting the Phantom Menace channels. Growth in a lot of these channels is flat, so people feel a need to manufacture drama to get eyeballs, which is absolutely true. That's the point of YouTube. YouTube is rarely used for advanced discussions on aqueous geochemistry and natural waters. YouTube's strength is pop culture, and as time goes by and the platform ages, the pop culture is getting more fluffy. Cat videos, girls in stretch pants doing yoga videos, unboxings. Or the worst thing I ever saw on YouTube was a guy with his kids. The guy was driving a remote-controlled car, which was impressive because it was really overpowered, and it had so much power that it could drive on water, so that was cool. And it was going over jumps and that kind of stuff, and he was sticking the landing, which is pretty hard to do. And the kids were all fake excited, but you could tell they were bored with the whole thing. I mean, if they never saw another remote control car in their life, it'd be too soon. They're basically working for Dad to sell clicks. The whole family had to pretend to care about remote control cars, but I guarantee that they don't give a rat's ass about it. Off screen, I kind of expected to see the mom holding a whip. The video got millions of views and probably bought them a vacation home. It was the desperate quality of their fake joy that made me want to drown myself in a whiskey bottle. The whole time, the kids never got a chance to drive the thing. They just had to fake cheer Dad. He probably wasn't even their dad. He probably just rented the kids. Or, plot twist, the kids are the mastermind behind it, and they rented the 40-year-old guy to play Dad because their real dad went out for cigarettes 10 years ago. My point is anyone excited about Star Wars anymore? If the Disney trilogy was good, there would be a new movie in that universe probably every year until sales went down. But since it sucks, nobody cares about any future Star Wars, mostly because Kathleen Kennedy and everyone running Star Wars is a giant bleeding pussy. Remember the Force is female? Well, it must have had PMS because it is a cranky bitch. If it wasn't for Mando, Star Wars would really be in deep cack. Star Wars didn't lose money, but it didn't make as much as it could have. The only reason Rise of Skywalker is going to make $1.5 billion, which I guess will be my prediction now, is because people are sheep and they want to finish off the series, and I guess I can respect that. But when it comes time for the next woke Star Wars film, what is going to happen? Will they just make less and less money over time? To me, it feels like the big budget, big picture Star Wars is dead, and the stuff like The Mandalorian is the only thing keeping Star Wars going. So the excitement is gone for Star Wars, and some of the Star Wars outrage channels are having to drum up fake outrage. And I won't say it. So Matt does make a valid. I won't say it. So Matt does make a valid point. The trilogy is done, or the Star Wars trilogy is done, and it's not very good. But to do a 4-hour review is just beating a dead horse. The only fun thing is laughing at the soy people who are defending it. But even they're mad because they think Abrams was pandering to the paying customers by limiting Rose Tico to a minute of screen time, which was a minute too long. How dare Big Nose try to fix what Roundhead messed up? Heaven forbid the seller give the buyer what he's willing to pay for. Capitalism is totally like evil or like whatever. Or if someone wants to send me a tablet stand, or even a tablet, that would the tablet stand is probably more appreciated. Let me know. I could probably make one out of wood, like I guess basically just a book stand, right? I'll look into that. I was listening to Edwin Boyette talk about the top 100 Indie-Cron books, which is amazing because Comicsgate is growing so fast. In its first year, I think it did about 1 million, and in its second year, more than doubled its sales. It has had some growing pains and a few black eyes, stealing solo. But really, that's probably the only real black eye, and we're talking about hundreds of campaigns, so and that's not even that bad. I mean, he's gonna he's been upfront about it. He's gonna, I guess, re-edit it and send the book out again. And like I was talking to somebody in one of my comments about Stealing Solo, is the idea is really good. The idea could be really, really funny. It's just you gotta have another artist do it, or you gotta spend more time on the art and fill in those backgrounds. You can't have panel after panel of just a guy with a green background, and the next panel is a guy on a blue background and a red. You know what I mean? You gotta put some background stuff in there. That would be probably my only complaint. But he's a funny guy, and he's probably a pretty funny writer. And what I've seen is, I think that's a great concept. It seems like it could be a really good low budget film. I mean, you couldn't use Harrison Ford, of course. But you could just use some guy who's playing a big actor in some movie like that. What was that? Tim Allen? Was it Tim Allen who was in that space movie spoof with Sigourney Weaver? Oh, I forget the name of it. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I think Comicsgate. I think Edwin Boyette's Comicsgate is the second year was up to $5.5 million in sales. So congratulations to everyone who has worked very, very hard. And I'm sure Stealing Solo is going to come back and, come back and be just fine. And, I was hearing some of the Huts talking about these Comicsgate books. And, I mean, I understand you got to be fair in your criticism. Like, Stealing Solo deserves some criticism, EVS, and all the rest. Everyone deserves criticism, even that idiot Bianca. But you got to be fair in your criticism. I mean, you can't just relentlessly bash them over and over again. I mean, there's comic books you don't like, but you got to admit they do some things well. Like, you might not like somebody, but you look at the art and say, oh yeah, the art's really good, or the storyline's really funny. The creator's a douche, but you can draw or you can write, and he's funny, and you know what I mean. You got to be fair. Otherwise, you're just grinding an axe, and it's just anyway. So I realized I hadn't looked at Indiecron in a while. And let's take a look at Indiecron. There's so many campaigns. I remember, what's his name? Mike was talking about his comic book Lone Star, and he said it's got vampires in it, and I didn't know that. Let me take a look. Where's Lone Star? I thought it was some superhero like Captain America dude. Oh, Lone Star and Monster Hunt. No, I think that's the old one. I thought it was like fighting gangs or something like that, like just basically Captain America thing. But then he said it has something to do with there's vampires in it, and all of a sudden it got my interest all perked up. This one looks great. Eudaimonia. Stupid name. You got to have a name that people can repeat. It sticks in their head, and Eudaimonia is not doing it. I criticized someone's name in an old video, and I know nobody's going to go back and find it. And the creator, wasn't this guy, or some other guy, it was months ago, got really pissed. Really, really pissed. Oh, here it is, Heart of the Hero Redo. Just because it says something like the name didn't have, it wasn't distinct enough or something like that. But everything else, I looked at it and I said it was great. It was just, comic was funny and art was well done. Everything's good. It's just, criticized the name. The dude was not happy. Anyway, so this is the one where they're fighting vampires. I didn't know about any of this. I don't know how much. I think he had some. He's obviously the artist, but I think he set up the stories. He was talking about his compositions and stuff and setting up the stories. And so even if you hate the guy for whatever reason, you got to admit he's a pretty damn good artist who enjoys drawing women. Can I get a shot of those boobs? Darn you. Will this pop it open? Let's take a look. Who enjoys drawing women, which I think is kind of funny. But yeah, this dude's a really good, really solid artist. So I think he had some say in the setup of the storyline, plot elements, that kind of thing. It's funny. Like Doug TenNapel did a book, and I think it was the first one he did, not Earthworm Jim or Bigfoot Bell, the one he did several months ago or last year, and it was hardcover, and I don't think he let enough people know that it was hardcover, and you could get this full-size hardcover book for, everything total was probably $36, and if you would all like that art or that style, it was a really good deal. And I found out it was hardcover after the campaign was over, which is kind of weird. So you gotta, I know these people, they're artists and their minds are just full of fluff and nonsense, but you're not, you're an artist, yes, but you're also your own salesman. You're in charge of sales yourself. You don't have a team working on it, so you've got to think. You got to keep hitting people with data points of, oh yeah, this one's got vampires in it, and this time it's different from the last one because he's doing something different. So it's still the same character, so people who like the character will buy it, but people this time who like the supernatural aspect, vampires and zombies and werewolves, are going to give it a little bit of clue, or something like, oh yeah, this book is square bound, or some books are not square bound. It's like, geez. So if a book is square bound, it's different than other books that everyone's paying the same $36. So what makes this book different? And it might just be the form factor. It's hardcover, that's actually a big selling point, because it just, I mean, it's a minor thing. You think, oh, the story's number one. No, it's like, books are also used for coffee table purposes, and they want to look good on bookshelves. And something that's not square bound or hardbound doesn't really go on a bookshelf. It looks kind of silly. It looks kind of cheap, actually, especially when it's only 66 pages. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, send me email biancazombie602@gmail.com. You can click the links in the description. Hit me up on Patreon, PayPal, or Coffee. Thanks to everyone who has supported. It's very, very cool. And I will see you guys all next episode.